This road has claimed more lives than any mountain you've ever heard of. Not in a sudden earthquake, not in a single disaster, but car by car, day by day, for decades. And tomorrow, someone will still drive down it. These aren't abandoned roads or routes closed down because they're too dangerous. Quite the opposite. They are active right now, being driven on every single day. Some roads on this list have claimed an estimated 1,000 lives. Not because of natural disasters, but because of how they were built, or rather, because people are still forced to risk them, knowing exactly what's waiting. A road where rental car companies strictly forbid you from driving. A road completely buried under rocks and dirt for years on end. A tunnel carved through a mountain by hand with not a single engineer willing to sign off on it. And a road that leads straight to a mountain nicknamed the Killer. And yet, all of them remain open. Let's start with the first one. A road locals call by a very simple name. The Road of Death. Number 1. North Yungas Road, Bolivia. Less than 3.5 meters wide, not a single guardrail, and on one side, a 600-meter drop. This is the road locals themselves named El Camino de la Muerte, the Death Road. The road begins in La Paz, a city sitting nearly 3,600 meters above sea level, one of the highest capitals in the world. From there, it plunges downward, cutting through the Yungas rainforest, dropping over 3,500 meters in elevation in just about 70 kilometers. This used to be the only route connecting La Paz to Bolivia's Amazon region, meaning goods, food, and people had no choice but to travel through it. But the narrowness of the road was only the beginning. For most of its length, the road was carved directly into the cliffside. No modern reinforcement, no drainage system. Tropical rain can turn the dirt surface into slick mud within minutes. Thick fog can swallow a driver's visibility at any moment, even in broad daylight. And then there are the rock slides. Not rare occurrences, but almost a normal part of the journey. At its peak, before Bolivia built a safer alternative route in 2006, this road is estimated to have claimed between 200 and 300 lives every year. In 1995, the Inter-American Development Bank gave it an official title: the world's most dangerous road. If you drive along this road today, you'll see hundreds of small crosses planted along the roadside, each one marking a vehicle that went over the edge. There's one event locals still talk about. In 1983, a bus carrying over 100 passengers drove straight off the edge into the ravine. No one survived. It remains one of the deadliest traffic disasters in Bolivia's history. On the very road thousands of people still had to travel every week just to make a living. Today, most cargo traffic has shifted to the newer, safer route. But North Yungas Road hasn't closed. It's still open, now mainly for those who want to experience facing that 600-meter drop for themselves on a bicycle. But if you think this is the most dangerous road because of its height, wait. Because the next one isn't just dangerous because of the drop. Even the sky above it can kill you. Number 2. Zoji La Pass, India. At an altitude of over 3,500 meters, the air is already thin enough to make you dizzy. But what can actually kill you here is what falls from the sky itself. Zoji La is the only mountain pass connecting the Kashmir Valley to the remote region of Ladakh in the Himalayas. This isn't a side road. It's a lifeline, the main route for supplying food, fuel, and even military resources to hundreds of thousands of people living in Ladakh every year. Without it, the entire region would be almost completely cut off from the rest of India throughout the winter. Every year from around November to May, Zoji La is nearly buried entirely under snow, in some places several meters deep. The road is forced to close completely during winter, but even when it reopens, the danger never really goes away. Avalanches are a constant threat. No warning, no fixed pattern. A wall of snow can come down at any moment, sweeping away anything in its path. Much of the road isn't fully paved. There are no guardrails. On one side, a sheer cliff face. On the other, a steep drop, and in between, just enough room for a single lane. When two trucks meet head-on at the narrowest stretch, one of them has to reverse, sometimes hundreds of meters, to find a spot to pull over. The drivers who run this route have their own name for it: Ladakh's Gateway of Death. Many of them have watched a fellow driver never make it back from a run, swept away by an avalanche, or sliding off the edge in thick fog. The Indian government is currently building a tunnel through the mountain to replace this pass. But until it's finished, Zoji La remains the only option. At Zoji La, nature is the enemy. Snow, altitude, fog, there's almost nothing humans can control here. But the next road is dangerous for an entirely different reason. There, it's not nature that kills, it's speed, and 60 hairpin turns one after another. Number 3. Stelvio Pass, Italy. 60 hairpin turns, one after another, without pause, over a stretch of less than 25 kilometers. This isn't a road, this is a test. Stelvio Pass sits at 2,757 meters in the Italian Alps, the second highest paved mountain pass in all of Europe. It was built back in the 1820s under the Austrian Empire, originally for military purposes and to connect remote territories. Today, it remains almost entirely unchanged, including the 48 clearly numbered hairpin bends on its eastern side, each one marked with its own sign. The danger of Stelvio doesn't come from a lack of guardrails or from natural disaster. It comes from the very nature of the road itself. Dozens of consecutive sharp turns, steep gradients, and a large number of drivers who come here not to get somewhere, but to test their speed. Every year, Stelvio draws thousands of motorcyclists and professional cyclists who treat the pass as a natural arena. At this altitude, the weather can change in an instant. Clouds can roll in within minutes, completely blinding a driver's view right in the middle of a turn. For riders descending at high speed, a single moment of distraction or an oil stain, a patch of wet road, is enough to turn a picture-perfect turn into the site of a fatal crash. Stelvio Pass has repeatedly served as a legendary stage of the Giro d'Italia, one of the most prestigious cycling races in the world. For racers, it's considered one of the harshest climbs they'll ever face, not just because of the gradient, but because of the mental toll of 48 consecutive turns that never give them a real moment to rest. But the glory of the race comes with a dark side. Every year, amateur drivers, both cars and motorcycles, still lose control on the very same turns that made this pass famous. Stelvio is dangerous because of speed and human overconfidence. But the next road raises an entirely different question. What happens when a road isn't built by engineers, but carved out of rock by the bare hands of a farmer? Number 4. Guoliang Tunnel, China. No engineer ever signed their name to this road. Because it wasn't built, it was chiseled out by hand by 13 farmers. Guoliang is a small village deep in the Taihang Mountains, China. For hundreds of years, this village was almost completely cut off from the outside world. The only way in or out was a narrow path carved into the cliffside, where villagers had to walk, and in some stretches, crawl along treacherous stone ledges. Sick children couldn't be gotten to medical help in time. Goods had to be carried on people's backs across dangerous, precarious terrain. In 1972, 13 villagers decided to change their fate with their own hands. No heavy machinery, no engineering blueprints, just hammers, chisels, and homemade explosives. Over the course of 5 years, they chiseled straight through solid rock, creating a tunnel over 1,200 meters long, wide enough for a single vehicle to pass through. But because it was carved by hand, the road lacks the structural consistency that modern engineering demands. The ceiling is uneven and low in places. Trucks have to duck just to fit through. And along one wall, large gaps, like windows, open straight out into empty air, with no barrier separating them from the drop below. Rockfalls from the tunnel ceiling still happen to this day, and for drivers unfamiliar with the terrain, misjudging distance in a space this narrow and poorly lit can mean slamming straight into the rock wall, or worse, sliding through one of those unguarded openings. During construction, lives were lost, crushed by falling rock, or fatal falls while hanging from the cliffside to place explosives. But the village pushed forward and finished it anyway, because to them, this wasn't a project, It was their only path to survival. Today, the road has transformed Guoliang from a forgotten village into a destination that draws hundreds of thousands of visitors every year. People who come not seeking danger, but to witness firsthand what humans are capable of, with nothing but their bare hands. Guoliang is a story about people conquering danger with their own hands in search of a way to survive. But the next road tells the opposite story, one where the very companies that rent out cars, the ones who understand the risk best, refuse to let you drive in at all. Number 5. Skipper's Canyon Road, New Zealand. Almost every rental car company in New Zealand includes the same clause in their contract. Drive in here and your insurance is void immediately. Skipper's Canyon sits near the town of Queenstown, one of New Zealand's most famous tourist destinations. The road was built in the 19th century during the gold rush era, when miners recklessly carved a path deep into the canyon to reach the gold deposits along the Shotover River. More than 100 years later, the road has barely changed shape. Still a single-lane dirt track, never significantly upgraded to meet modern road standards. The road is only wide enough for a single lane of traffic. There are no guardrails. On one side, a sheer rock face. On the other, a drop of hundreds of meters down to the riverbed. When two vehicles meet head-on, one has to reverse, sometimes hundreds of meters, to find one of the few widened spots where they can pass each other. There's no room for error, no room for hesitation. The dirt surface makes things even worse after rain, slippery, prone to landslides, and visibility through blind corners is non-existent, with no mirrors to help. This is exactly why most rental car companies in New Zealand put Skipper's Canyon on an explicit ban list in their contracts. Not a warning, not a recommendation. A contractual clause, drive in, and you're entirely on your own. Today, the only way most visitors can safely experience this road is by riding with local drivers who've driven it thousands of times. People who know every turn, every passing point by heart. But for confident drivers who choose to take the wheel themselves, ignoring the warning buried in their rental agreement, Skipper's Canyon still records accidents every year, most of them caused by misjudging distance on that single-lane stretch. Skipper's Canyon is dangerous enough that the tourism industry itself has to sound the alarm. But not every dangerous road looks frightening. The next one is often called one of the most beautiful roads in the world, but that beauty comes with a price of its own. Number 6. Trollstigen, Norway. Trollstigen. In Norwegian, it means the troll's staircase. And once you see it, you'll understand exactly why. Trollstigen, lies in western Norway, part of the national tourist route connecting the country's famous valleys and fjords. The road was completed in 1936 after years of manual labor cutting through steep rocky terrain. It only opens for a few months each year, roughly from May to October, because for the rest of the time, snow and ice make travel nearly impossible. 11 sharp hairpin bends with an average gradient of up to 12%, meaning for every 100 meters traveled, the elevation shifts by 12 meters. The road is narrow enough to be a real challenge for large tour buses which have to pass through regularly during peak season. At some turns, bus drivers have to inch forward bit by bit, sometimes reversing just to get enough angle to make the turn. Right beside one of the most dangerous bends, the Stigfossen waterfall plunges down from over 200 meters, beautiful enough that many drivers lose focus, if only for a second, just to look at it. And that single moment of distraction, combined with roads made slick by mist from the falls, has been the cause of no shortage of collisions, especially involving motorcycles and sport bikes that favor high-speed descents through here. There's a Norwegian folk legend tied to this road. It was said that trolls living in the mountains would turn to stone if caught in sunlight. And the strange, jagged rock formations scattered along the road are, according to legend, trolls that froze in place when dawn broke too quickly for them to make it back to their caves. That's why the Norwegians named this place the Troll's Staircase, not because it's literally dangerous, but because the terrain here is so wild, so extreme, that people once believed only a supernatural force could have created it. But for modern drivers, what's frightening isn't the legend. It's having to steer a 12-meter bus through a turn barely wide enough, while dozens of tourists stand right at the edge, taking photos. Trollstigen proves one thing. The most beautiful places in the world often demand the highest price to reach. But the next road isn't dangerous just because of its terrain. It's dangerous because of exactly where it sits, connecting two countries, cutting straight through one of the most seismically active regions on the planet. Number 7. Karakoram Highway, Pakistan and China. This is the highest fully paved road in the world. But what makes it dangerous isn't the altitude. It's the fact that it sits directly on one of the most geologically unstable regions on the planet. The Karakoram Highway stretches over 1,300 kilometers, connecting Kashgar in China's Xinjiang region to the Hassan Abdal area of Pakistan, crossing the Kunjarab Pass at nearly 4,700 meters, the highest paved border crossing in the world. The road took 2 decades to build, from the 1960s to the 1980s, a joint project between the two governments aimed at creating a strategic trade route through the Himalayas and the Karakoram range. The Karakoram Highway sits right where the Indian tectonic plate collides with the Eurasian plate, a region still shifting several centimeters every year. That constant geological collision is exactly what makes this one of the most active regions in the world for earthquakes, landslides, and glacial flooding. In 2010, a massive landslide at Atabad completely dammed the Hunza River, creating a new lake over 20 kilometers long, permanently submerging a long stretch of this vital highway underwater. For years afterward, people and goods had no choice but to cross the lake by boat until China and Pakistan completed new tunnels and bridges to reconnect the route. Even today, rock slides remain a constant threat. Entire sections of road can be blocked within hours with no warning at all. Building this road came at an enormous cost. An estimated 800+ workers, mostly Pakistani and Chinese, lost their lives during construction, most of them due to rock slides and accidents on the treacherous terrain. In Pakistan, this road is sometimes called the eighth wonder of the world, not just for its engineering scale, but for the price in blood it took to exist. The Karakoram Highway stands as proof of just how many lives people are willing to sacrifice simply to connect two pieces of land. But the final road on this list leads to a place whose name says everything on its own. Not a mountain pass, not a tunnel, but a road that leads straight to the foot of a mountain nicknamed the Killer. Number 8. Fairy Meadows Road, Pakistan. The name sounds like something out of a fairy tale. Fairy Meadows. But the road leading there sits at the foot of a mountain that locals call by an entirely different name, the Killer Mountain. Fairy Meadows is a stunning high-altitude meadow, sitting at roughly 3,300 meters, right at the base of Nanga Parbat, the 9th highest mountain in the world, and one of the most difficult peaks on the planet to conquer. But to reach this meadow, travelers have to drive a dirt road roughly 16 kilometers long, considered one of the most dangerous jeep tracks in the world. The road is unpaved, barely wide enough for a single jeep. On one side, a mountain wall, on the other, a drop of hundreds of meters with no barriers of any kind. In some stretches, the gradient is steep enough that only specialized 4x4 jeeps, driven by seasoned local drivers, can navigate it safely. Rock slides happen frequently, especially after rain. And because the road is unpaved, any heavy rainfall can turn the surface into slick mud, capable of throwing even the most experienced drivers off course. But perhaps the most frightening thing here isn't the road itself. It's the shadow of the mountain looming above it. Nanga Parbat has claimed the lives of more than 80 climbers since humans first attempted to summit it. A death rate among those attempting the peak that once ranked among the highest in the world, earning it the nickname Killer Mountain as early as the beginning of the 20th century. For decades, Nanga Parbat was known as the German mountain because most of the earliest expeditions and the ones that suffered the heaviest losses came from Germany and Austria. In a single 1934 expedition alone, 10 people died in one storm on the mountain. But right beneath the shadow of that tragedy, Fairy Meadows exists as a paradox, a peaceful, lush green meadow where travelers camp and watch the sunset paint the peak that has killed dozens of the world's most experienced climbers. And the only road to reach that peace is, itself, one of the most dangerous roads we've talked about in this entire video. 8 roads. 8 completely different reasons to be afraid. But there's one thing all 8 of these roads have in common. Not a single one of them has ever closed. For many people, it's the only road home. For others, it's a deliberate choice to feel something a safe road could never give them. But whatever the reason, the truth stays the same. Right now, as you're watching this, someone, somewhere, is driving through the very same turns we just talked about. And maybe that's the scariest part of all. Not the drops, not the avalanches, but the fact that people can grow used to danger until it simply becomes a normal part of life. This planet has so many more places like this. Places where the line between beauty and danger is so thin, it's almost impossible to tell them apart. If you want to keep exploring places like these, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next journey. There are still so many places on Earth waiting to be told.